Is Frank okaying 2025 season, then retire, or no? No, he's done. He's hanging it up. Effective today.
This makes stuff tougher.
Yeah.
I will say it's going to make it tougher, but it's not going to stop the show from going on.
I agree with you. The answer isn't there yet. I think the answer will present itself, and it may be a work in progress, is apt when you're talking about young players. What it is in week 1 or 2 is probably not what it's going to be come playoff time, but gosh damn it. Sucks we're having this conversation. But we knew it was coming. Just came earlier than we thought.
Yeah.
We're all trying to take it in right now.
Yeah, let's go to break, collect our thoughts, we'll come back. People in the chat are saying Zadarius Smith money freed up now. Is that a positive?
He's coming back.
Yeah, that's $14 million off the books with Frank retiring, so maybe that's.
I think I'm going to have to pick Sean up. Sean, I'm going to make you feel better. I know you're bumming. Frank Ragnow announces retirement, but I'm going to try to pick you up now. That's what I'm
Look
here.
at the back
I'm
wall,
your buddy.
Sean.
Well, there's that pizza.
Something that usually.
Okay, no,
buddies?
not the pizza. The Lions, you know their last 3 centers were? Kevin Glover, Dominic Raiola, Frank Ragnow. They will get through this. Maybe one of these young bucks they drafted is the next Kevin Glover or Dominic Raiola. But the Lions have always been able to find good centers. So that's the only thing I can tell you now to make you feel a little bit
Centers
better.
and kickers, right?
Centers and kickers, that's right.
The anchor of what was one of the best lines, I'm not going to call it the best line, one of the best lines in the league, retires. And it, the reality of it, T, is you can't undersell it right now. You can't, because I don't know what the answer is. That's what I hate. Up until about 20 minutes ago, I could tell you definitively that this was one of the best offensive linemen. And right now, I think it's one of the best offensive lines, but I don't know what the makeup's going to be. And we can't talk about what this rookie or that rookie, how it's even going to play itself out. That's what's weird about it, I think.
Can I scare you now?
Oh, thanks.
Oh, the Lions' offensive line is not going to be any good. Jared Goff is not going to have time. And now we're going to really find out how he sucks. Scared?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Terrified. You kidding me? Well, listen, here's the metamorphosis of the Jared Goff argument, okay? There comes a time where everybody has to shut up. I was one of those guys. 3 years ago. I said, you guys, look at what he did for the Rams the last couple of years. This guy's a mess, okay? Well, it was bigger than that. His offensive line was a mess. And no quarterback likes to be pressured. And certainly some quarterbacks deal with it better than other guys. And there comes a time where you have to go like this. When Jared Goff started to do the things that he did, that's when you have to shut up and go, hey, this guy gets it done. But the reality is that's the flip side to this argument. To all the guys that are patting themselves on the back saying, I was right, you were right. I can't take that away from you, nor would I want to. I'm glad you were right. But I think the flip side of that argument was people trying to tell me that he wasn't struggling. He was struggling. He was struggling mightily. But I'm not worried about with this offensive line.
But you got to throw in one more word, faith.
Mm-hmm.
That coaching staff did not have faith in him.
100% part of it.
Dan Campbell had faith in him.
Yep.
Brad Holmes had faith in him. One of the first things Brad Holmes said, this is not a bridge quarterback. It's a quarterback for the future. So shut up.
Yeah.
So if I'm telling you you suck and I'm your coach, guess what? You're going to suck. But if I'm telling you, dude, you're the shit, that's what you're going to be.
What about that Whiplash movie, T-Foss?
I'm going to coach you up.
They say the 2 most harmful words in the human language are good job. You ever seen Whiplash? That dude's... Miles Teller puts on a performance.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be interested to see. I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't. Spenny, what do you think?
Like I said, I think... I don't know. We'll see. I can't see them starting a rookie week 1 at center.
No.
So I got to believe it's going to be Graham Glasgow that plays center.
Glasgow moving over.
And then you got Mahogany and Ratledge as your guards.
Yeah.
We'll see going forward. Like I said, Tate Ratledge has been getting a lot of time playing center in OTAs. I was comfortable with the Lions' offensive line and confident in it going forward at the guard spots because Frank Ragnow was in the middle of them. So this is tough. This is making me nervous. Not gonna lie.
Yep.
I still think they're gonna get through it. I love the draft picks they made and the players they have in there. But if you're starting a center week one, a rookie center week one, we'll see.
Ratledge is getting a lot of love though, not just from Allen Park, but around the NFL.
Sure.
And from people.
Oh, he's a stud.
So he's going to start this year at center.
You think
Maybe
so?
not week one,
Yeah.
but at some point he's going to be the Lions starting center. I'll own up to it.
I'm not going to argue that.
And he's not like the traditional center, but you guys know now there's no center or guard in the draft anymore. It's interior offensive line because those guys do
IOL.
whatever guard spot you want to play, whatever's you got to know all of them. If you want to be a long-time player in the NFL, you got to be able to play all three of them. And Frank Ragnow was not your stereotypical center. You know, he was, you think of a center of the league, you think of 6'1", 6'2", kind of meatball guy like Raiola. But you look at Frank, 6'5", big athletic dude. That's what Tate Ratledge is as well. 6'6", big athletic dude, freak athlete. All of his RAS scores off the charts. So I could see him filling that spot. And I agree, Terry. I don't know if it'll be week one, but I think he's going to be the starting center going forward for the Detroit Lions. That's why you drafted him in the second round. That's why you believed in him. And we'll see.
Plus, you need somebody throwing blocks for Jahmyr Gibbs 20 yards down the field.
Yeah.
That's why I think
It's a tough offense. It's a tough blocking scheme to learn. Very tough to pick up. Very complex blocking scheme when you look at the run game and what the Detroit Lions do. But you have Hank Fraley. You've got David Shaw. You've got a lot of guys that are very in tune with that and that will be able to teach these young guys that. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a hiccup at first for sure. I mean, like you said, Sean, there's no replacement. You don't replace the best center in the league in OTAs.
No, I'm not going to undersell that. I think there are options there, but it's going to be a less than option when you're talking about the best center in the game. We can't put perfume on that. There's nothing we can do.
You can't. However, the Lions' offensive line is being taught this: block and then haul ass.
Yeah.
I mean, get your butt up the field because you got something else to do. You got to be an athlete.
Yep.
And in offensive lines in the past, you just had to be a big bull, knock somebody out the way, and stand over him and dare him to get up. Now you got to knock his ass down. Now you got to get somebody else, 5 or 6. You got to hit a linebacker. You got to hit 2 or 3 dudes on one play with this offense. Because you got Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield along with David Montgomery.
We were talking about it earlier, and I don't even remember the context earlier in the show, but just how things have changed, like the generations. Oh, we were talking about it with baseball. And Spenny, you made up the point. Babe Ruth would hit like 167 in today's game.
188.
Okay, seriously, think about the game of football today. Because, Spenny, you're right. There are no guards. There are no centers. No. It's IOL.
IOL.
That's all it is. It's IOL. And Terry, like, you guys didn't live this, okay? We knew what the defensive line was for every team in the National Football League. And they even had wacky little nicknames for them.
Yeah.
There was Doomsday. There was the Steel Curtain. There was the Silver Rush. And you knew on first, second, and third down, okay, it was going to be Chase on one edge, I'm in the middle, Terry's in the middle, and you're on the other edge. You knew. Yeah. Those 4 guys were going to be the game. The game has changed so much today. And people don't realize that.
And we got who do we have week 1 again? Was it Vikings or?
We're at Lambeau.
At Lambeau.
We're going to
Packers.
Green Bay.
I cannot wait for the first play of the Lions season for them to have that extra offensive lineman out there with Dan Skipper with his hand in the dirt, hand the ball off to David Montgomery up the middle, and for him to get 5 yards on the first carry of the game.
Yeah.
Right up the middle.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're going to do. They're not changing who they are. They're not changing what they do. They're not changing what they believe. And they've still got a damn good offensive line, and they're going to show it. I guarantee it's David Montgomery.
Yeah.
I will make one change, young buck. I want Jahmyr Gibbs carrying that first ball.
I'm cool with that, too.
I think that's your start.
They can go from a 5-yard carry to a 40-yard carry. It's Jahmyr Gibbs.
Pants would be off immediately.
Yeah.
Like the earliest.
Imagine that. Just a little counter for Jahmyr Gibbs. First play, he takes it 70 yards to the house in Lambeau. running down the field, flipping off all the Packers
Oh
fans.
my gosh.
Frank Ragnow sitting in the stands. He does the Lambo leap into Frank Ragnow's lap. And everybody loves everybody. And then the Lions go on to win the Super Bowl. And everybody goes to Disneyland. And we're all smiling and marry beautiful women.
I'd be a penguin.
I'm
Like
so
my
nervous.
pants would be around my ankles. I'd be waddling around my front room. That would be the absolute best.
You're
But
gonna be Mazaway.
yeah, a little bit,
He's the penguin.
little bit.
All right,
but-
let's. We gotta catch up on some breaks, so let's go a little early so I can get all these in here. If you haven't heard, Frank Ragnow announced his retirement from the NFL today. So we, as a show, Big D Energy, as a network in Woodward Sports, and me personally, as a human, wish him the best, his family the best. He gave everything he
Hear,
could
hear.
to this team. The man was doing surgeries mid-season without missing games and just like playing with 3 toes. The guy, he was one of the best centers in the modern era of the NFL. So, love Frank Ragnow. Wish him the best. Go catch some fucking Whoppers out there also.